Hey guys, do you want to make a meaningful difference in one of my local Nicaraguan friends' lives? My friend Flavio's dream is to do art and be able to do it for a living, and you can help him accomplish this, okay? If you're in the US or in Europe, you can check out the merchandise shelf below and purchase the products there. All of these products are designed by Flavio, and he gets all of the proceeds from these sales. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and if you want to support our work, check out the merchandise, buy a course, do that kind of stuff. Now I'll see you in today's video. Ciao!
What's up, guys? Today I am here with Simon, and this is the first of the efficiency groups. So I was kind of worried that nobody would show up, and even though I miscommunicated the time, Simon's here, and he is going to be the guinea pig of these groups. So the way this is going to work is I'm trying to find a revolving groups of multiple people between 1 and 3 other individuals, and we will meet once per week for 1 month. And each meeting, we kind of focus on a different thing. So today, what the goal is to talk about how you currently spend your time. So if you look at like the week, is there regularity in your life? Like, can you give me, because it's just you, I can ask a few more questions. Can you give me some more insight into what your life looks like?
Yeah, well, I'm self-employed, so I work from home. We've got 3 kids, 2 of which are in school. Just started preschool, so life at the moment has been sort of revolving, trying to work around the children's schools. We've also just moved as well, which it's for the past year has been pretty crazy. Really, we've been sort of like trying to move, and I've I'm a self-employed artist, so I have like a studio. So I've been moving around, like moving studios, and things have just sort of settled down now. We've just got a nice house with my studio's actually here, nice garage space. So and the kids have just started back to school, and their routines just sort of nice and settled. So we've only just like this week actually sat down and worked out like times where we can actually do some focused work. So we've got the whole like schedule mapped out for the week. At the moment, my partner's out; she's helping somebody else move out. So I've got some time, for myself. I've just put my daughter down for a nap. So I apologise if at any point during this.
That's so good. Don't worry.
The monitor's on, so she's fine. She's snoozing away at the moment, so that's fine. So yeah, we're just basically it's been a bit sort of crazy trying to fit in the things that I have to do around everybody else's schedule, and schedules change, and kind of be flexible and drop things. So really, what I need to do is be super efficient with the time that I actually have. I'm a big fan of lists, and working through those. I've got my list today.
Can you show me? Is it possible you can show me the list?
Yeah, sure. Well, I've got several like emails I need to send today. I've got some like artist bits to sort out. I need to tidy this house. But I just like throwing down everything that I need to do today. I need to pick up my daughter from school in a few hours. The cat needs eardrops. Yeah, it's just everything really that I need to do. So, yeah, but this is basically my work time.
So would you say that there's if we looked at your week from Monday through Sunday, is there enough regularity in some of the things that you have to do, or that you do, that we could list them? Is that possible?
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't actually listed everything down. you know, but
No, I'm making a text document right now. So as we talk about stuff, I can just kind of list what's good to determine is the days that you are most busy with time that you can't really change, and then the days that you are a little bit more flexible with your time. Like maybe you're doing, obviously with 3 kids, you're doing things every single day, but maybe there's certain days where like you can spend more time with your kids so your wife doesn't have to. So on other days, then you can get more time so that you can focus on something, like these kind of things. But first we need to identify like what are the days that you have a bit more time and what are the days that you have a bit less time.
Sorry, I misunderstood. Yeah, well, we've sort of worked it out. Well, we both, my partner's also self-employed as well. Both giving ourselves like 3 hours during the day where we can actually work without any distraction. So if she's working, then I'll make sure that the kids are all, you know, occupied and out of the way, and, you know, vice versa. So we basically, yeah, it fluctuates, but it's around 3 hours a day, like during the day. But I mean, then once the kids are gone to bed, then, you know, we can sit down and do, you know, a bit more work if we need to. But I don't really like working on an evening because I'm just wiped out during the day.
But what time does this 3 hour window happen? Does it change or?
It varies. It's Friday today. So today I had scheduled down from 8 until 12 today. But like I said, my partner's out. So that's changed now today from until I've got really until my daughter wakes up. So probably a couple of hours.
Maybe it makes more sense to me right now. What is your children's sleeping schedule? Is there some more? Because I mean, when I was a kid, I didn't have any regularity in my life in any way whatsoever. So I understand that might be kind of a loaded question. But like on this case, for example, today's Friday, and it's currently what time is it where you are?
It's 12. Well, it's 20 past 12 at the moment.
Okay, gotcha. So is it normal for her to be asleep right now, or is it not normal?
She's 3, so she's kind of dropped the afternoon nap now.
Yeah.
But she 5:30 this morning, and she was at preschool yesterday, so she's a little bit wiped out. So I just thought, that's a good opportunity to catch up on a little bit of sleep, so I can get
naps are awesome. Gotcha. So you don't. She could wake up in 5 minutes. She could wake up in 30 minutes. Like who knows?
For about another hour. But
okay.
This is kind of the problem that I have is that the time that I have can change. You know, I can't like sit down and say, right, I know that we have to mapped it out, but depending on what happens, then you know it could get cut short or you know. So that's the problem. But I mean, she has just started preschool, and she's going to be doing more days, so that will get less and less. She's only just started. I mean, next week I think she's got 3 days, like Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. So on those days, then
once more time has passed, then after it's not the beginning, then it'll be a bit more regular. I mean, kids are never like regular, really, but you know.
I am sometimes quite jealous of your lifestyle.
I mean, having family is some of the most fulfilling, amazing things you can do as a human. It's really like obviously, yeah, children changes things a lot, but like if you have kids with someone you really love, like, wow, that's amazing. That's incredibly lucky.
Yeah. Well, I mean, since my daughter was born, life has changed quite a lot. and it's been tricky, like, to adjust, my life, because they do say, like, once you have kids, the life you led before ends.
Yeah.
Um, which has been tricky, really, but just feel like the dust is kind of settling now, and we're getting back into some kind of routine.
I think as a self-employed person, I'm not sure how, like, when you're working like a full-time job, you're working 40, 50 hours, and you have kids, absolutely it changes everything, because you have your job and that your kids take up the rest of your time, essentially. But when you have the ability to be self-employed, and if you can be more efficient and more effective and earn more money in less time, it's just not necessarily as true, because a self-employed person can take the time to be there for their children and also be there for themselves if they play their cards right. Whereas somebody who's working 50, 60 hours, like, it's going to be really hard to still hang out with their friends and be there for themselves and work on their hobbies. That kind of definitely will just get pushed aside when children are in the picture, for sure.
Yes, I do hear other people do have some kind of social life.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, or, I mean, I've had to sacrifice various different, parts of my life in order to incorporate the kids and work. So, like I say, when being self-employed, and I'm working from home as well, it's difficult, really. So I'm either looking after the kids or I'm working. I mean, I've got a scheduled day off tomorrow, but I suspect most of that day will be taken up with catching up with other things that I need to do.
Mm-hmm.
Sort out the studio, and
So
I will get it.
Can you share more about what your work looks like when you're actually doing it?
Yeah, I do. I'm a special effects artist, so we've been working on a couple of different film projects. So I've got some gory effects to work on tomorrow to finish off the films. I also make film props as well to sell online. So I've got a couple of commissions that I need to sort out.
So it sounds like you have a bit of a network of people in this industry. I mean, I'm assuming you would have to in order to be able to sell film props, for example.
Yeah. Well, I sell through. I get most of my sales actually come through my Facebook and my YouTube channel, because I put a few videos out of some of the props that I made,
Mm-hmm.
and I just get regular orders, for those. I don't actually have like the website or anything set up for. I've lost my train of thought.
Oh no, that's fine. I was just asking about. Now I understand a bit more about what your work looks like exactly, because actually I was for some reason assuming that people on the call wouldn't be self-employed and they would like be trying to get out of a job or something like this. So this is really interesting. It's a little bit of a train of thought thing, but it's so often that the way that we think things are going to play out is not actually how things play out. So that's not surprising at all. And this is why you must throw yourself into things, right? So there's one kind of habit that I think is particularly useful in your case. And this is something that I'm learning to do as well myself. And like you mentioned earlier that you want to be more efficient with the time that you do spend, because the schedule's changed so much. You have children, there's a lot going on, it's hectic, and that again makes it even more important to be very efficient when you get those chances to work, right? But it can be so tricky when you do get the chance to be like, okay, right now I have this, what is the best thing for me to do? And for me personally, in the past, a mistake I made was always trying to remember what I should be working on. which takes a lot of energy. It sounds smart, like, oh yeah, you should know your priorities, this kind of thing. But what's easier is to learn to identify what you feel like you're putting off, what you feel like you're not doing, what you're a little bit ashamed of you not doing yet. Because this is it's a very unique kind of flavor inside yourself. And if you ask yourself, oh, what should I be doing right now? There's a lot of logical stuff that may come up there. But really, all you got to do is learn to identify the feeling of putting something off.
Mm-hmm.
So I can ask you, is there anything that you feel like you've been putting off recently?
There's a couple of commissions that I have to do.
Mm-hmm.
That basically I need to get started with, and I have been putting them off.
So do you have a like a pen or paper with you by chance? I know you have a list. Is it possible you could order, like, if you think in your life right now and try and think of 3 things that you're putting off, one being the one that you feel strongest in this emotion about, and then the rest being just maybe not as strong. Because really it's not so much about doing these particular tasks right now. It's about getting your brain to really associate the feeling of putting off with what you should do most urgently. Because then you don't even really have to spend the energy logically thinking of all these things. You can just be like, oh, I got that feeling about this thing. That means I got to do it. Like, I got to just put it ahead of everything else and just do it.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah, I have looked into this. Done a bit of reading on goal setting and basically, getting through tasks. And there's different schools of thought on that. There was one that I read that is basically you make a list of all things that you need to do, and you pick whichever one you can do right now, right? That takes like the least amount of time.
Yeah.
And get that done. And then so you can check that off the list, and then that kind of gets the ball rolling.
Yeah, it gets momentum.
Yeah. So then it's easier to do the next thing. But, I mean, like what you're saying is just like pick the one that you really don't want to do.
Yeah.
And then do that, and then basically that would have the same effect, and that would get that task out. Because I do that. I've got this list of things that I need to do today, but there's like some things that are more appealing than others. So I have in the past like focused on those, and then the big things that I do actually need to do, like time to do those. So I'll do them tomorrow, or I'll do them later on tonight. Yeah, they just don't get done. So
most of these things,
just pick the one thing that, or the couple of things that you really don't want to do, but you have to do.
Yeah, most of the time when we. Because, I've met a lot of different people in a lot of different cultures, and people tend to focus on their differences as to what makes them unique and what makes them an individual, right? But really, we're all really similar, even in different cultures. And when it comes to, like, things that we're putting off, most of us spend enough mental energy thinking about the things that we want to do that we could have actually done it in less energy. And it's really important to just be able to, specifically to be able to identify that feeling that you're talking about. And again, like, obviously it's important that you do the things that are making you feel this way, but ultimately the most valuable kind of takeaway you can have is to focus on being able to acknowledge that feeling. Because if you can get really good at that, then you don't necessarily even need a list. You just know, like, oh man, looking at that fills me with dread, so I gotta do it. Like, I just got to. And in my case, it's usually not things that are that complicated. It's just something that I've put off for more than 2 or 3 days once I've determined I need to do it. And they're often like 5 minutes or 30 minutes, maybe an hour. They're not, I mean, it's not that much time really. And for example, one of the things that I was putting off recently, so I lived in this same building like a year ago, right? And I lived here with an ex, and we bought this stove thing. It's like a little gas stove, and it's been sitting in a shed collecting dust, completely like grimy and dirty. And the ex reached out to me and asked if she could have it. And so I was like, oh yeah, I'll clean it. That's fine. And that was like 4 or 5 days ago, and I hadn't cleaned it at all. And I just kept being like, I started feeling like more and more of a failure, even though I've been like cleaning up the whole house, been working on courses, been doing like tons of other stuff. But this little thing in my head that I knew I said I would do and I didn't do really, really bothered me. And then I actually did it, and it took like, sprayed it with a hose, scrubbed it with a brush. It was like 8 minutes. Like, I definitely spent more than 8 minutes thinking about, oh, I should do that. You know what I mean?
But how did you feel after you'd done it? After you got it?
Yeah, it's usually really relieving, and then it shows me like, man.
Yeah, I've been thinking that's my problem. I focus on that I don't want, the work basically that I don't particularly want to do. But I need to focus on, how I'm going to feel when I can actually check it off and that's done. No, I don't need to worry about that anymore.
And you probably will enjoy it more than you expect. I'm not saying it's going to be thrilling and super fun, but like we humans definitely, we have a tendency to think that things are going to be a certain way, and we're usually wrong. Like even the most intellectual people, they're just like, you can't be right all the time. And even being right a little bit of the time is unusual in some cases.
Yeah.
So is there something, these you're talking about like a commission work that you've been putting off? Is that right?
Yeah. Yes, I'm. Have you seen the film Anchorman?
Yes, but a long time ago. It's not
Yeah.
fresh.
There's, do you know the Sex Panther box? Brian Fantana's like showing up his like cologne collection. There's this special like cologne called Sex Panther. So basically, I recreated that prop, and I've been basically making them since the film came out. That's like 10 years ago, and I just keep getting commissions for these things. But because I've made so many, I don't even have to think about it anymore. It's just my hands just work, and it just happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoy the sales side of it, and going backwards and forward with the customer and basically getting them to make a decision and getting the money, but it's actually even making the prop and getting it into the post. That's the bit that I don't particularly like doing, but I have to do that because otherwise I have to get on them. But yeah. Hopefully none of my customers are actually watching this. It'll be I don't really want to make them anymore. I keep basically saying that I'm done, I'm not making anymore. And then I keep getting orders coming. I'm pushing the price up as well. I sold one earlier on last year for about £300. Wow. And I've worked on these things, and it does look pretty much exactly the same as in the film. I've even worked out how to get it to smoke, and it makes the growling noise when it opens and stuff. So it is worth the money, but I'm done. Basically.
So you feel with that specific thing, you feel like you've done it so much that is it that it's not challenging or?
Yeah, it doesn't. I've pushed it as far as it can go, really, and yeah, I've had enough, really. But I mean, like I say, I do enjoy the sales part of it, which is what I'm trying to focus on now is making money online.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically what I do. I mean, I'll put an ad out on like my Facebook page and YouTube, and then I get leads from that ad, and that leads to sales. So I've been looking at various different ways of making money online, which is actually how I found your channel, just through the whole eBay dropshipping,
Mm-hmm.
Which I've been working on as well. So that's really where I want things to go, is more like online sales rather than actually physically making things to
Yeah, it's much more scalable.
Yes.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, because I mean, I did have an eBay shop a few years ago, which I actually sold physical items around like my special effects work. So I'd sell FX kits and all the materials and things that you need for various things, and I managed to scale it up to the point where it was pretty much most of my sales came in around Halloween time. It seems to be the time that people want that kind of thing. But it was killing me pretty much every year trying to keep up with the orders. And I did have somebody working with me like 1 year just to help me sort of keep up with things. But it wasn't. It fell apart really at the end because there was such a small window where I actually made the sales.
Yeah.
And eventually I couldn't keep up, and yeah, I got some bad feedback, and I got a lot of people I had to refund. In the end, I made my account got shut down, basically because I couldn't afford to pay the fees.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, living there, but
yeah, I've been there.
What's that?
I've been there.
Oh yeah, no. More like grander scale than me, that really. But yeah. So I'm enjoying the whole dropshipping. That's a lot. It's a lot easier, obviously, to transfer money from one place to another and have shit.
Yeah, and you're in the UK, so that the kind of work I was doing is way more profitable in the UK, whereas in the US, like I paid so much money in insertion fees.
I've been getting that impression that it seems to be easier in the UK than it is in the US.
Yeah, there's a couple of reasons for that. So it's not just that dropshipping is kind of easier in the UK, it's that dropshipping on any eBay marketplace that isn't the US is a bit easier. And a lot of that right now comes from that all the different eBay marketplaces are managed differently. And in the US, there's a lot of heat towards dropshippers right now from eBay. And like that's always there to a point. But I would say that at the moment, there's more frustration than normal from eBay's end. And they're doing more to identify dropshippers and make it inconvenient for them and this kind of thing. Whereas in the UK and in eBay France and in these other marketplaces, it's how it kind of was before in the US, where like Yeah, if you drop ship and you're bad at it, eBay will get mad at you. But as long as you're giving good customer service, you are paying your bills, then like they're gonna be okay with it.
Yeah.
And also in these other marketplaces, you can get anchor stores that cost £300 a month or 350, something like this, and you
Yeah.
get unlimited listings, which is like crazy. So then it's just a matter of managing to prevent all of the Vero problems and copyright issues and all of these, because if you can have an effective filter to eliminate all that, then it's quite easy to scale it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 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 I'm. Yeah. I wonder where it's going now. I need to start scaling it up. I'm setting some actual proper goals for my eBay shop, and get a VA as well. That would help a lot.
Yeah, VAs are amazing. I know a VA if you want. The virtual assistant that I worked with on my store.
Yeah.
I believe he's looking for work. If you want, I can introduce you guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'll be good. Yeah.
Having a virtual assistant is like gold mine. Super useful.
It's something that everybody does this, right? It's sort of held off. But it's definitely what I need to do to scale it up. I mean, even just like starting off like slow, like, 10 items a day or whatever, but I need to build it up from there. But, yeah, I mean, I've been trying to list consistently every day, and that's another thing that keeps getting put off and put today, and then it doesn't get done.
Yeah, and in your position, it sounds like getting a VA would be, because you have a more hectic schedule and you don't have that much free time. It sounds like getting a virtual assistant would be like one specific thing that you can do that would be very beneficial. And you don't have to worry about, like, you don't have to pay them full time or anything like that. Like, I recommend people start a virtual assistant off at 30 minutes a day. Like that's not much time, and it can cost you like $70 a month, and you can get 30 minutes of time every day. And one of the advantages of doing it this way is that you're gonna pay more attention to how you want your VA to spend that 30 minutes. Whereas if you are having a full-time VA, it's really easy to just have them not be working efficiently or effectively, because they're just supposed to be doing stuff for 8 hours all day. Like that's kind of tricky. But so that's something I really encourage you to do, because that will help with you being able to do the things that you feel like you're putting off, if you know that no matter what happens, that these items are getting listed every day, and all you have to do is make a spreadsheet that just has the links of the items that then get posted. Or even you could teach the VA how to find items, whatever you want, really.
Already doing that bit, just finding all the sorting all the products and stuff. It's just actually listing. I mean, I do have software that helps with that, but I still have to optimize the titles and make sure all the item specifics are in there, and check the description and features and stuff.
So which part of that process is the most time consuming for you?
It's I think probably title optimization, really. That seems to be the thing that I spend the most time thinking about. But I have got quicker with it. But I like to have as many pictures as possible on each listing, and a lot of the time you only get like one or like 3 max. So I have found that I've spent a long time on Google Images looking for other, pictures that I can put on, or different angles of the same product.
Gotcha. So most of the time you're spending is on, once you've identified a product, then actually listing that.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, that's like perfect, because that you want your brain to just get used to just being able to identify products, and then somebody else deals with that stuff. Even if you're still dealing with the customer service, any orders, this kind of thing. But it's super easy. Like, you could say that you got in touch with Ale or another VA. You could have them doing that within like a day or two.
Yeah.
For literally like £70 a month, something like that. Depending on how much you want them to work, that kind of thing. So if there's any way you can act on that, that's something that you can do now that will have a very lasting effect, not just on your drop shipping pursuits, but also on the other things that you're doing. Because if you feel like, basically, like, it's really important that you look at every single day and not like the bigger picture. You just need to make sure that every day you are doing something, like 30 minutes of something that you believe is getting you closer to what you want in your future. There's a lot of talk about like working your ass off, grinding it out, all this stuff, but really you don't have to do that. You just have to do something every single day that makes your future better, specific to what you want. And as long as you do that, then inevitably, your life changes and you find these opportunities and these kind of things.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, and I have done like research into this, and about the 90-day game plan, like the big push, and like putting like 8 hours a day in for 90 days, and then completely change your life. And I don't physically have the energy.
Yeah.
Because it's basically, the kids basically are like a full-time job.
Yeah. And they should be. That's.
But yeah. I've no regrets at all. Yeah. But so many goals, so many things that I want to do, and yeah, I can't physically do like 16-hour days every day.
Okay, who wants to do that, really? Like,
I have done it in the past. I don't want to do it. So yeah, I need to be. This is why I signed up for this group. I feel like I need to be more efficient with the time that I have. Any little nuggets and stuff that I can get from you.
Awesome. Yeah, this is the learning process for me as well, because I've never really I've done a lot of these calls where I talk with people, but usually it's like, interviewing them or talking about a subject, and like, this is a bit more similar because it's just you and me. But when there's more people, it's like, oh man, got to manage all this, got to come up with like assignments and wow, these are not things that I'm talented in. And so I have a feeling that it's almost 7. And so basically I sent out an email in response to the Doodle poll, and then an email through Doodle. And depending on which one you looked at, it made it look like it was a different time, because one of them said 7 to 9 Nika time, and the other one was 7 to 9 New York time. So it's possible that in like 5 minutes or 6 minutes, some other people may just pop in.
Right.
But in this case, we were able to get a lot of one-on-one time. So I think it's kind of more beneficial for you, because that wouldn't have happened in the other situation. And so it really sounds like that there's two things that you can do now that will be helpful, and that's to get a virtual assistant, and not like paying them a whole lot of money, not a whole lot of time, just enough to list enough so that you feel like your store is growing, and you can focus on identifying items and also doing the other things that you're working on. I take a lot of comfort from that you aren't just trying drop shipping. Like, you understand it's draw, but also you have other things in your life. It's a balance. You're not just like, oh, I just want to be a drop shipping mogul. That's really valuable. And then the second thing is to focus on that feeling of you putting something off, and to just get used to just knowing that feeling that you have it, and to just blindly just do the thing you feel that way about. You don't have to think about anything else past that. Just that's really, really, really important, and I think that's going to be really helpful.
Making that. Yeah. I agree.
And I messaged my VA, I messaged Ale, so he'll let me know if he's looking for more work. But he's super reliable. He's like, he worked with my account, so he's got a lot of eBay experience. Like, I could work with you to make a quick video to just show what your process is like. And you've made YouTube videos, so you could probably do that. But typically, like, to train the VA, you just make a video of your process, have them watch it, and then they just do it. It's like, people freak out about training them, but like, we could have made like 8 training videos in this one call.
It's yeah, I mean, like, thinking that I was going to have to, pay them a full-time wage and to train them up from scratch. And yeah, it's something that I've built up in my head is like this huge thing, but it's not really.
No, not at all.
We already have experience, so it should be basically just training. I do. I mean, I'm sure he'll probably end up teaching me more than I will him. But yeah, that'll be great. Actually, yeah, if you can put us in touch. And yeah, awesome.
I'm glad. Well, this has been fun. I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick, and then I'm gonna see if anyone joins, and then if they do, I'll just do what we just did. And you're welcome to just like hang out. I'll involve you as well. But also, I mean, we've been talking for an hour specifically about this, so I understand if you want to go and do your thing. Like, you don't have much time, so I completely understand that.
I best go and wake up my daughter. I don't want her to sleep too long, otherwise she won't sleep tonight. So yeah, I'll probably bow out actually. But I mean, I'm waiting. Yeah, see if anybody else jumps on.
Cool.
Yeah, go and do what you need to do.
All right. Thanks, Simon. This was fun.
Yeah. It's great to meet you.
Yeah. So does it work to do it at 7 a.m. like now, or is 6 like really better for you?
It works for me because it's midday. It's 12 in the afternoon. So on a Friday. So I mean, I have like free time, so I can put that into the schedule.
Okay, cool.
But I am flexible.
Awesome. That's good.
Yeah. Excellent.